Hello, hello. Oh. Okay, sorry. It was like my stream was being weird. Okay, hi, welcome to stream. If you could not tell by the spooky dog blanket behind me, I'm still in fall vibes. I'm not someone who's gonna jump right into Christmas just yet. So, still going, rocking with the fall vibes. And for today, we are going to be working on my 2023 reading journal, which I'm very excited about. And it does kind of have a fall theme to it, which is chill. Like, it's just got a cozy theme, I would say. I don't know how to describe it, but it's kind of fallish, cozy. Before we get started, if you want more bullet journaling content, follow me on Instagram. And if you want to see any of my previous streams, head over to my YouTube channel. There should be links in my bio here, so you guys can get to all those places. And then next Saturday at the usual stream time, we'll be working on a kind of, I think it's called the Kanban writing board. Well, that's what I'm going to call it, but it will be like, it's a project manager, and so I'm going to use it for my writing and stuff. So that'll be next week. Let's get into this week's journaling stuff. Oh, golly gee. Hide hits. Okay. So, wow. I look really pale. Is the lighting gonna, like, settle? Nope. Okay. That's just how it's gonna be. I want to try and fix this. Give me a hot second. It's kind of better. Good enough. Anyway, so what I have with me is I have my old reading journal that I think I started like right at the end of, I started in October of 2021, and it is going till the end of this year. I've used up so many pages. I got just enough room for my December spread, and that's it. And then I have this, which is from Shop Amanda Rachel Lee. She's a lovely YouTuber. She created her own journal. I don't know when this one came out specifically, but it's the basic dot grid, so it's not one of her special doodle planners. And this will be acting as my 2023, and maybe it could even go to 2024. I doubt I'll use too much space. But it will be my reading journal for this coming year. I really like it. I like all the little doodles that are in the front cover because I feel like I don't need to stress about personalizing the cover page with it and stuff. So I like this journal a lot. I like that it comes with a pen loop. It's got a pocket in the back. It's got thick pages. The pages are numbered too, and it lays flat pretty well, like if you smooth it down. So I really like this journal already. I've enjoyed using it. I have already started kind of my setup for my 2023 reading journal. As you can see, this is my kind of cover page with our palette. So I have these three King Art dual tip brush pens I'll be using, and these are two Siga felt tip pens, and so I have it in this like tannish orangey brown, and then I have the black one for lining if I need to. And then with it, I have decided to accent everything with, let me try and grab it all, this white and gold washi tape. So these are all really cute. I think I got most of it from Joann's or Michael's. Not entirely sure. I know these three came in a set, and I think with these two as well. And then this one came in a different night sky set. But yeah, so this is my color palette. And since you guys join me on stream, you do get like a sneak peek of how this journal is kind of set up. My other materials for the day include, by the way, pencil, ruler, I got a little skeleton eraser, and I got my scissors. And then this is my lovely and messy plans for this reading journal. So I've done a good deal of pages already. Did the grid spacing guide. This is my personal library spread. So these are books I haven't read yet, and I can check off whether or not I've read them and when I completed them. And these are also my personal library. I've just read them. So I got a couple pages for that, and a little quote because it's cute. And I have room to add if I need to. Golly. This is my page a day tracker that I'll be doing next year. I really liked seeing how many pages I've read in a month or in a day, so keeping that. I got this idea from one of Jashi Curran's vlogs, where they kind of tracked how many books they bought in a year to kind of limit their spending. So that's what I'm doing with this. I think there's like 25 books that are available on this page, so I'm trying to limit myself so I don't spend too much money. And then my challenge is to read 52 books next year, and so that's this page. And then this is more of scriptural and spiritual reading for these next two pages, or a couple. And then this will be eventually my most anticipated reads calendar type thingy. But today, what we're doing is we'll be making yearly TBR. So these are books that I want to try and read this year, and we'll kind of have books that are from my personal library that I want to read, books from that like have been on my TBR for a while and I wanted to read them, I just haven't yet, that I don't own, and then we'll throw in like one more page that's is a space for new books that I find this year that I want to put on my TBR. So that's that. And we will get started. And one of the main things I've been kind of doing with the pages is it's kind of in a pattern. So we did blue, green. So this page will be red, then blue, green, and so on. So I kind of use these pages to get borders because I really like the way the borders look, especially like from the side you can kind of see where they are. So they'll stand out more in my overall reading journal of like, okay, these are the pages that are my yearly ones. And then I kind of use the black and the brownish to just kind of write down any information on them. Yeah. So this page is going to be red. And let's get marking it out. So with this I'll have the book title on like half of the page, and then this is going to kind of go along with the L.I.L method, where you kind of have like a really long list and then you kind of just mark off when it was done. So we'll have the book titles on one side and then a column for each of the 12 months of the year, and then I can just cross out which month I read that book. I've been experimenting with the L.I.L method in my personal, in my weekly and monthly journal, and I've really freaking enjoyed it, so we're putting that in here. So let's count out 12 slots. Just double count to be safe. Now this spread's going to be like really easy to make and like do it on your own and stuff. Its main, I guess, focus is going to be like writing in all the little book titles and stuff. And if you guys have any book recommendations, feel free to pop them in the chat at any time, and I'd love to like add them to my TBR for the year. one thing that I kind of, when it came to picking out the pages for my 2023 reading journal, the first thing I did was look through my current reading journal and looked for things that I typically did, or things I always went back to or needed. And then I also kind of flipped through Instagram if there's for inspiration, if I wanted anything else to add into it. Because one thing with this journal, I wanted to make sure I had all the things I wanted to track at the very beginning, and it wasn't halfway through the year that I added a new yearly tracker of sorts. And one thing that also went into this is I considered what reading related items were also in my yearly journal already or in my monthly planner that I would want to make sure are put in here instead, where they kind of all fit the theme of reading journal. Because for me, the hardest thing when it comes to bullet journaling is, sorry, I'm just gonna use these pages as a reference real quick. Okay. One of the hardest things for me when it comes to bullet journaling is I want to make sure that all my spreads are in a place that I can find them and actually update them. There have been a lot of times when I first started bullet journaling, which was about 2018-ish, I just kind of put it all in one journal, but then I wouldn't go back to pages because I didn't know where they were, or I just forgot they existed. So I did not like that, and so my main kind of goal is to make sure that all my spreads that I'm making have a purpose, unless they're strictly decorative. I like my playlist spreads. I really like them, but they're not ones that I need to go back and update often. They're just kind of this is good for memory keeping and that type of thing. So I okay putting them in my normal journal, just kind of as I made this. These are the songs I'm listening to at this point in time. That type of thing. But other spreads page-a-day trackers, goals, and a yearly TBR, I want to make sure that it's in a spot that I will consistently go back to and think about and that type of thing. So that's that. Okay. We're not going to look at that. We're going to kind of look at this. So essentially I'm going to go to my personal library, some of my personal library spreads in here in my current reading journal, and kind of see which books I haven't read and I know I still haven't read, and fill up this list. So, and I'll probably just talk about these books as I go. So this spread is just a very simple listing. Right here it says personal library, and then this one just has all the months. And essentially, if I read one of the books on this list in January, I'll put a little X in January and fill this area in as in this book is completely done. I've read it this year, so we're good. Or if there's some books I don't read, I'll just highlight downwards. I'll fill it in with the highlight, and then I can see, okay, and this, let me doodle this because this will make more sense that way. Okay, we're gonna go like this. Okay, so okay, so we got book 1, 2, 3. So if I read book number 1 in the second month, I'll put like a little X in there. And so I read no books this month, so I'll color it in. And then I didn't read these 2 books this month, so I'll color it in. But then I read type of thing. So this whole area will be colored in because I read it in the second month. And these 2 areas will be colored in when I didn't read them in the second month. And this one, it'll show that it's spaced. I don't know. It's like a visual thing. Here. Okay. I am a visual person. I like working in visuals. So here's this week, all that jazz. Everywhere that's colored in brown, like, that means I didn't do it that day. So those I didn't do that day, I didn't do those, I didn't do these, whatever. And some of these tasks, like, these are my habits, right? All the space. All of these items need to be done. This item needs to be done. And there is where like that. This is just completely like that actually hasn't been done, and that's kind of what works for my brain visually when I look at my to-do list is to visually see hasn't been black, so it's different from the title. One thing, I think the main thing I want to do when it comes to like my personal library and getting stuff done is making sure I read more classics. Like, so I put Around the World in 80 Days, The Prince and the Pauper, I'm gonna add Hamlet and Henry V. And there's also a couple series I want to start, some fantasy series. I think it's the Alchemist series. Yeah. I want to read the Alchemist series. So, for sure. One of the issues with this is that I like setting this up right now, but I also live in fear that I'll finish some of these before the year starts, so we'll see how that goes. Because some of these books are like I've been wanting to read. And for me as a person, I'm a mood reader. I kind of read based on my mood, and one of the things I've been struggling with recently is that I am still so distraught by the Mirror Visitor series that I'm struggling to like start new books because I'm like I don't want to start a new book and say goodbye to my old books. I mean, I'm not saying goodbye to it, it's just I don't want to move on yet. I'm kind of okay with this list. I think those are all the books I for sure want to get done. Oh, no, I got 2 more. One of the other issues that I have, where is it? Okay. With my books is that I live in a very small apartment. I don't have a lot of room for all the books I own. And I have a lot. There's like, this is 37 books, 37 more, 37 more, 37 more, 37 more, and then a couple more. Under 37 more, but more like 30 more. So, I have a lot of books. They don't know ones that I haven't read in my apartment, but there's still read that aren't stored in my apartment, and they're just kind of like in our storage unit, randomly placed. It's really hard to kind of figure out which books I want to read, or like if there's a book on this list that I'm like, oh, I really want to read. At the same time, I don't know if I have it out with me that I can read it, so. Okay. Cute little washi tape at the bottom, just to kind of accent the page. And then if I get more books that end up in my personal library this year, like as the holidays and my birthday's coming up, I can fill in that space for the rest of them. Okay. I'm doing books that are just have been on my TBR for a while and I just haven't gone to. Oh, nope, I want my pencil first. And I'm sorry if this stream's a little boring because we're just making lists, but sometimes that's just what you gotta do. Because as much as I like doing fun shapes and crazy things for my spreads, sometimes the best option when it comes to making it is just a very simple, organized list so you can reference it when needed. And I really like the L.I.L method type of list now. I'm very keep the same layout for my weeklies. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you can see that like most of my weeklies look like they all have different layouts, different ways of patternizing and organizing and that type of thing. And I do that because I know it helps my brain. Yes, very interesting. Different is good. But every once in a while I'm like, okay, I find something I really like and so I do it everywhere. And right now that thing is the L.I.L method. Where did it go? Okay, there it is. Oh, I did it. Haha. Okay. This is how we're gonna fix it. We're gonna take this green marker and fill this in. Okay. And then we're gonna write in black instead. Okay. Cool. That's how we do it. That's how we fix mistakes. If you want to learn the best way to fix mistakes, watch my streams because I make a lot of them. So this one's definitely gonna get full because I'll be pulling from books that I've been wanting to read that I own. I just haven't yet. I just need to find it. Look at this. We're having a cute little flip through of this. Okay. Okay. Someone here that I want to do. Okay. Okay. This is for my cute spread. Now, a certain word can never be the same. Like, when I was like, I was obsessed with the Hunger Games. And I was like crazy obsessed with it. Like that series was my life. It came out on my birthday. I was obsessed with it. It was crazy. Anyway, the same without thinking of like Hunger Games. Like my brain like Katniss, which was kind of bad. But it was like that for the longest time. And right now, after reading the Mirror Visitor series, it's the French or certain names, and the servant in Corpse Bride to Victoria is Hildegard. And in the Mirror Visitor, there's like Madame Hildegard to the series. Or like one of the books on this to be read list of mine is called The Dragon's Promise. So, and one of the characters' last names in the Mirror Visitor series is Dragon. So, my brain's just kind of still there. It's not leaving. It doesn't want to leave. It's kind of crazy. You think I should read? Put them in the chat now because I am writing some stuff down. I'm writing down books that I want to read this year, coming year. A lot of these books come from booktubers that I really like. I watch Chloe Bunny, Reads. I think another one's called Faith Reads. But they kind of influence my choices because I've found some books that look really interesting or like, oh, I've read that, and if you like that, we have similar tastes. So I gotta listen to what you said. So that's been where some of these ones are far behind on guess Bookstagram and BookTube trends. Like one of them on this list is Normal People by Sally Rooney. A lot of booktubers read it, and I'm like, nice. I don't have the time to read that right now because I'm mood reading, but I will put it on my TBR anyway because it does sound good. My favorite things about making these books is being able to fill it up golly gee, do I love doing that. Like, it is my favorite thing. And right, same time. At the end of each week, I will go through my weekly, yearly planners with me, my reading journal, and a couple others, and I'll just go through and like update everything at once and like have all the markers I need and just kind of go through and be like, okay, this needs to be updated and this needs to be updated on the monthly side and that type of thing. And it's my favorite thing to do at the end of the week because it's like get that all sorted. It is my favorite thing to do because I just get to like fill it in and it makes me feel very accomplished at the end of the week. And then I also get to be like, I get to start over. I get to start with with a new focus and that type of thing. So I really like that. How I get to fill in and check off and say that I've done. It's great. Sometimes when I look at like old TBRs, I kind of question myself because I'm like, okay, why did this book end up on this list? Why did I write it down? Because sometimes I just have the title here, which I have right here. These are some lists of books I want to check out and read. So I kind of like think about it, but then there's this one time, I had this book on my TBR for forever, and I was like, would this actually be good? And I read it, and it was amazing. So trust your list, Lydia, because past Lydia knows what future Lydia will need. These books, I'm like, okay, this is like the second one in a series, or something else by an author that I want to read. For example, what did I read? I read Gilead by Marilyn Robinson, and I freaking loved it, so I have the book for it, and I read, I think it's not Things They Carried. I forget what it's called, but the second and third book ease. So, I know those books are good, and I want to read them. And they're continuations of it. Nick, a novel, is the, what's it called? It's from Great Gatsby. It's a, like, I guess, point of view thing from Great Gatsby. So I'm excited to read that one too. I wish. And I wanted to, but I just didn't have the time to, like, gallant. I was busy focusing on. Okay. So, currently, I know I wanted to make another page for the TBRs in here to go in here now. And I also wanted to have room for like ones that I find throughout the new year. A couple more. I'm just gonna keep going, feeling the vibe, just enjoying this stream. Consider, yeah, that's what this is. Oh, I should update the title. Haha. We're gonna do that right now. There we go. Title is updated. This is just a very chill. Sometimes, especially for me, I just need a day where I can like bullet journal or read at my own pace all day and not have getting too crazy. Which this Saturday is definitely just going to be chill vibes. Still completing stuff off my to-do list, just what I want, that type of thing. Lots of spinning. One thing, okay, so, I think it was last, no, it was like 2 streams ago. Hello, Sid. Welcome to chat, or stream. Glad to have you here. Right now, Sid, we are working on my 2023 reading journal. So I have a lovely, so I have, these are books from my personal library that I want to read in 2023, and then these are other books that I don't own that I do want to read in 2023, and we're just have places to keep track of that, and hopefully actually make progress on this list. So that's what we're doing today. Okay. So where I live, it's been cold. It's been kind of like, it's just cold. And I was like, okay, it's just fall weather. It's a little extra cold for fall weather, but I'll accept it nonetheless. And then I was like distraught. I was like, no, you can't do this to me. It's supposed to be fall. November just started yesterday morning. And so I didn't like that. And we had to turn our heater out, but then our air conditioning was like still in our window, so we were like debating. It was like, it could get warm again, it could get cold, we don't know yet. Weather's weird. So we're just waiting to see how the weather end up. And it's winter. It snowed. We took out the air conditioner and we're gonna put that in storage for now because it's too cold to leave it in the window. It's It's like 80 degrees. Christmas music, Joe Penn. It's that's illegal. It is Thanksgiving month. To fall music and only feel fall vibes, not Christmas vibes. That's for November 25th. November 25th is when Christmas music can be played. So, just so you know, Joe Penn. But I am a very avid Thanksgiving celebrator. Yeah. And I think it's probably, I did orchestra growing up. So, orchestra, we always got our Christmas music in like October and September. So, that's my thing. And then last night, like I had to walk to work last night, and there was snow like all over the ground, and it was snowing most of the evening. It was a wet snow, so it wasn't like in the mode where it's just like mostly clouds outside. It's gonna be cold. We have our winter coats out. And very fast, and it kind of makes me sad because it just kind of went from like too hot to wear a sweater to not sweater. So that makes me sad. That's the weather I'm having. And it's snowing, and we got the cat that we're cat sitting, and our house was clean, and we're just kind of like, it felt like a Christmas morning to me, or like a December morning. I don't know. But it wasn't. It's November. And where I am. I will say, as I'm going through this list, that I've been expanded in reading. Because I always go back to my fantasy romance because it is my favorite. But, and then I liked a lot of classics just because I had good teachers and they made me like them. And I'm an English major, so I'm like, I know how to understand them enough that they like make sense and I like them a lot. Anyway, looking as I'm going through this list, I got some creative nonfiction, which I would say about I was 100% against nonfiction of any kind because that is boring. Thank you, Capital Caspian, for following it. I read that like a year ago. I would not read nonfiction. I was like, nope, that's boring. That's lame. It's all the same. But creative writing class, and when I was in the class, they're like, okay, we're going to be focused on writing nonfiction. I was like, oh, but then he gave us such good reads for the class, and then he kind of made it more comfortable that I was like, okay, I can make, like, there's some books that I'm like, I'm not sure if I'll like the self-help books. I don't know if I'll ever get into those, like a good fiction piece. And then I've wanted to my collection and to start reading, and I have a couple on this list. One is called Crumbs, and I think it's a really cute bakery one. And then I got The Curious Society, which is I think it's just a bunch of really awesome and powerful women who are into science. So, and then I also have The Long, Long Goodbye of the Last Bookstore. I forget what's that about, but so that's on this list for sure, and I want to read it. So yeah. I also have, as I'm getting near the bottom of this list, in my October books that I found that I want to read. A lot of them are orphan serialings, and I think that's because one, I love the Hadestown musical, and so I listen to that a lot, and then because of that, I want to find more retellings, so I can maybe I can get my weekend together. I always have a goal whenever I go to libraries to find what my husband may like, and most times I think about a year ago. Yeah, it was around my birthday. We went and my husband let me pick out a couple books, and then he also wanted a book, and he got I forget its name. It's from there's a Star Wars series that's anime based, and one of them with anime. There's a guy with a katana lightsaber, and my husband really liked that one, and there's a whole book about it, and so he got it, and he's kind of read it. So I'm trying to find more Star Wars books that may fit his vibe. So I was at the library the other day, and I saw Shakespeare. No wait, I'm making one more. The Shakespeare retelling of it was the last in language. And I was like, that's interesting. I don't think my husband would like it that much because Shakespeare's kind of hard to read. And I feel like it might get a little boring for him. And more Star Wars stories or whatever that are out and about that go into their characters or plots that happen usually doesn't, because it's not his favorite thing to read, and he can just watch the shows they're called. It is called Tales of the Jedi, which he showed me because he and it made him very sad. But yeah, he showed me that one, and that was pretty good. I'm just not a Star Wars person as much, so I was like, eh. It had a very sad plot for one of the things. At the end of the Clone Wars series, like, this is this, and explained some things to me, but he enjoyed it a lot. Except that he may never read and enjoy all the books I do. I will still try. I want to bond with him that way. It is dying, and it makes me sad because I don't want it to die before I am done making my spreads. And I may need to order new varnishes. We'll see how this goes. Well, I'll be able to finish. I got like 15 to make for my 27 more spreads, because it's not just like one page type of spreads goes. Okay. So today is going to be a very short stream. Just because that's just how it's going to be. So 23, these are books from the personal library that I want to read, and there's room if I like add more to my personal library that I haven't read. And then these are books that I don't own that I want to read. Got 2 pages for that, and then this space is going to be for any books that I find during 2023 that I want to read, so can't fill that in yet. That's what we did today. I should put the bookmarks in so I remember where I'm at. Clean up and into writing journal mode because give me a little drowsy. So, sorry about that. That's why this stream is going to be a little short, and I sound very forgetful. Anyway, I have a kind of journaling prompt jar. I forgot it, and I don't want to go get it. And there's been a lot on my mind recently, so today it's just going to kind of be about recent events and things that have happened in your life. So I know we did that last week, but that's just kind of the vibe I'm feeling. Kind of what I need to journal about is just things that are happening in my life right now, because college is crazy. What I've just put in the chat is a list of all the other previous journaling prompts we checked out. If you want to write about something different, feel free to get out your own journal. So this is a personal journaling session. I'll turn off my microphone for like 10-ish minutes while I journal. See what I'm journaling, to also encourage you guys to journal on your own and kind of have that time to write yourself. So you guys have fun with that. And before we get into it, so got my journal out. I'm using the Happy Planner stickers for this kind of journaling. They're called the neutral watercolors. They're really cute. And then I are dual-ended. I'm going to be using these and a normal black pen for today's journaling prompt, today's journaling session. I encourage you to get out your journals and journal as well and just kind of write about your day, or if you like journal while taking pictures, doodling, voice recordings, whatever, typing, do it. This is the time to. Trying to put people in the habit of journaling. So I'm going to get journaling, and I'll turn off my mic, and I'll talk to you guys in like 10-ish minutes. Okay. If you guys are still journaling, keep going. Keep going with the vibe. I'm just gonna quickly talk about what I've journaled about, and then that type of thing. So recently, I've been thinking a lot about my education, and I've been kind of going for an English education degree, but part of me also wants to just go back to being an English degree, and eventually go on to get my master's in library science. So there's that. That's kind of on my mind, and so kind of talked about that. I put a couple notes on like what's going on in my life recently, like the weather, and that I'm cat sitting, and I got paid in macarons, and they were delicious. And then I highlighted. You guys can't see it, and it's a surprise. But I did have a project idea that I wrote down, so that's going to be coming up later, probably on my Instagram. So, speaking of my Instagram, you should go check it out. Links in my bio. I post so much bullet journaling content there, and more like updated reading content about what I'm reading and when and all that jazz. So, check it out. And on that note, I'm probably going to end the stream. If you arrive late and want to watch the whole thing, it'll be here on Twitch, or it'll also be on my YouTube channel, which is also linked in my bio. I had fun today. I know it was more chill, just kind of like working on stuff, and sometimes that's just what it needs to be. Just kind of chill, relax, work on stuff. So, but I had fun anyway. So, that is going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next week. Bye!